Hello there! I'm Scotty. You're not. Pens are almost falling this time. Welcome back to Road to Halloween Horror Month. It's day 8. We're going to talk about an episode of Masters of Horror today. But before we get to that, we need to add another part onto the background. Got the Ghostface Funko Pop. Yes, it's out of the box. We need room. There. 5 more left. So the episode of Masters of Horror we're going to talk about. If you don't know, Masters of Horror was a project brought to the television by Mick Garris, who directed quite a few Stephen King movies. I think he did the Tommyknockers, the Sleepwalkers. You know, he did the television remake of The Shining with the star episode talking about Steven Weber. So he started this, and he got a bunch of the horror director friends like John Carpenter, Tobe Hooper, and in the case of this episode, Dario Argento to come along and produce episodes. A couple of them did. Stuart Gordon, I forgot Stuart Gordon. Some of them did a couple episodes apiece. Mick Garris even did some episodes himself. But this one is directed by Dario Argento. Dario Argento was called Jennifer with one N for some reason. It's apparently based on a short story. It stars Steven Weber, and the teleplay was by Steven Weber. After learning that, he wrote a script where all he does is have sex with this disfigured woman and she goes down on him. Wow. I know it's based on a short story, but it kind of feels like he just pleasured himself on camera. I know it's simulated. Shut up. But I'm just saying. But I don't know. And the story follows Frank, a police officer, who happens upon someone trying to kill this young woman. He stops him, and this encounter leads him to become obsessed with this woman, whose name is Jennifer, he finds out. And he becomes more obsessed. He separates from his family. Bad stuff starts to happen, and he keeps separating everything. He keeps favoring her, even though she's causing all these problems. I don't know. This is the second time I've seen this, and I don't understand it. What I've gathered from this, they don't explain it in the episode, but my guess was she's a siren. Because you hear throughout the episode, there is this music score. It's like children choir. You hear. My thought is that's supposed to be the siren song, right? That's my thought. Why she has to look totally disfigured? Although we see his point of view, she's gorgeous, and this is a gorgeous woman. And they said, we want a very gorgeous woman with a nice body, and we're gonna put the most disgusting makeup on her face, but the rest of her body is going to be fantastic. I mean, she has got two of the two best things about Jennifer. So I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. My memory's not that good. Anyway. But, yeah. And we see a lot. Like, just, yeah. We see like, there's scenes where she's seducing him and she's topless and naked, whatever. There's one scene where she shows up and she's just naked for some reason. I don't know, but yeah. So, like I said, Frank, he's on that job, or he's walking. He comes across someone trying to kill her, and he stops them. The guy's trying to warn him. You don't know what she is. Neither does anyone else, apparently, because it's never explained. Like, this one guy seems to be the only guy who knows what she is. You don't know what she is, and, like, we're supposed to gather that he got information, so... But we don't have time for Frank to go on an investigation, even though he's a freaking cop. No. Right? Even then, maybe that's not what the guy meant. Because, like, if she was doing the same thing that she does with Frank, where she's seducing him and then killing people, innocent people, then... yeah. But the guy refuses to stop, so Frank is forced to shoot the guy to death. And she's taken in. And I do like when he comes home, she asks how it was. He goes straight to the liquor cabinet. And his wife's like, "Oh no, what happened?" Like, she knows. He's like, "Shot someone today." "No, no, honey." He doesn't burp. I do that. But yeah, it's just like... Then there's a weird scene, because it's not explicitly explained what he's doing, although you can sort of guess. Because, like, she decides to, you know, he's had a hard day, so why not give him some, you know what I mean? You know, they'd start to get busy, have sex, do it. But, yeah, we see her tits, too, very nice. She's a gorgeous woman, too. I'm trying to think of where I've seen her before. Is she the woman who Michael Rooker is going to cheat on Elizabeth Banks with in Slither? Is that the same actress? I couldn't tell. The one that ends up getting pregnant and all that thing? Is that her? At any rate, so they get all hot and heavy, and he starts visualizing Jennifer, but not like how she looks or anything. It's when he first met her and she's bent over the thing, which if that's the only thing you have in your head, and he just starts to go nuts, and like the wife starts to freak out because he's doing something, but like he's still got his pants on. So I don't know what he's doing. I think it's supposed to be he's sodomizing her, which is he's shoving it in her butthole. I think is what he's doing. But like, I don't know. He could be raw dogging her. But I don't know. That's what it seems. The way he's got her bent over like that. And she does not like that. And so he becomes very obsessed with Jennifer. So he goes back to the station the next day and he takes her out of there and he brings her home. Like, does he have any right to do that? They just let him do it? I guess she doesn't have anywhere to go. Her name is Jennifer. That's all we know. She's mute. Except for I don't think they know what mute means. Because mute means you don't say nothing. But there's constant and then she growls when she has sex. That's not mute. That's just... I guess maybe you can say they assume she's mute because she doesn't talk. And she's not actually mute. She just doesn't speak because she's some creature. Who knows? But he brings her home. He has her sleep on the couch. And then he goes to bed. He doesn't tell his wife and son about this, by the way. And then she shows up and she's somewhat naked. Tops down. And the wife freaks out, and the son freaks out until he sees the tits, and he's like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, right? So the wife's like, no, you can't keep her here. You know, you gotta figure out something. So, yeah. The first thing he does is I think she eats the cat, and they have enough. So they take her out, and trying to figure out what to do, and that's when she goes down on him and starts to fuck him in the car. And then he brings her back to the house and lets her, you gotta choose. It's either me or her. So he takes her somewhere and he hires some guy from the circus to take her away. Why he doesn't just bring her to the circus and leave her there is beyond me. The guy has to come and get her, and of course she kills him. She also ends up killing the next door neighbor little 6-year-old girl. And yeah, so then they take off, and he moves to some cabin in the woods somewhere, still favoring her for some reason. And yeah, he gets a job at a grocery store and moves her to the cabin. Yeah. So we have this teenage son of the person who runs the grocery store, this woman. And Frank decides that he'll stay there late so the kid can go to whatever party he's supposed to go to. Jennifer follows him to the party. And at first she's like, oh, hey, it's okay, don't run. And then she turns around and like, whoa, hey. And we see her attack him, but it's, see what happens until Frank comes home. And she's a chowing down on his dingly dongly. But not how she was chowing down on Frank's dingly dongly earlier. No, she is having a kielbasa sausage. Her butt cheeks is warm. Yeah, she's eating the cock and balls. And not in a sexy way. Yes, there is a sexy way. Yeah. I also want to point out the death of the little girl is terrible. And I don't mean it looks terrible. It looks... It's just gruesome. It is Dario Argento. He's known for some gruesome stuff. But, yeah. The death of this 16-year-old boy is finally what pushes him over the edge. Not his cat. Not his wife being at wit's end. Not the little girl. This teenage boy. Because I guess he got to know this boy. He didn't know the little girl. I don't know. So he takes her out to the middle of the woods intending to kill her, but once a hunter comes by and shoots him. We don't even get the dialogue from before. Just shoots him. The only word he says is Jennifer, and then he dies. And then it looks like it's going to start all over again with this hunter guy. Yeah, not the best ending. It was also a lot of, when it comes to the plot, a lot of nothing. There's a lot of, for an hour-long episode, 4 or 5 minutes without commercials, they don't give us anything. They resort, and I guess whoever wrote this, they give us a bunch of, just he keeps running away from stuff instead of investigating what she is. And it's like, oh, we don't have time for that now, just have him, and he finally starts to snap into his senses. We don't have time for him to investigate anymore. Just have him go out to the woods and shoot her like she's a dog or a horse or something. And then we have to set up like she's going to continue this. There's no explanation as to what she is, although my guess is she's a siren. From the children choir music and just the dream he has of a very good looker. It's basically the actress without the makeup on. Yeah. I guess she's a siren. They don't spell it out for you. Could have used a little more explanations, but I don't know. I would have liked it if the twist was the guy from the beginning wasn't dead. He survived. He's in the hospital. And Frank goes to see him, and he explains what she is. She's a siren. And like, what is her motive here? She's eating people and cats, but she's seducing Frank for what? Protection? Or maybe she's doing that so he doesn't do that, but he's snapped out of it by now, or so, I don't know. Could be she's the last siren. Could be. She's attacking herself. First time I watched this, I thought it was gonna end with like Frank's dead, but she's pregnant, so like the seed will live on or something. I don't know. But yep, there's the episode. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments below. You should like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you in the next one. I love a dipstick. Oh. Kielbasa sausage, your butt cheeks is warm.